Yo, what is up guys, Delboy here, aka Blue Collar Sports TV. Hopefully you guys are doing well. If you're new here, smash that like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. So, Lukasz Rozanski knocks out Alen Babic in one round to become the new WBC Bridgerweight Champion of the world. Going into this fight, I did a preview for it. I picked Rozanski based on superior hand speed, better punch technique, more compact style, better defensively, and the fact that he could, in exchanges, he has decent enough timing. He can punch in between your punches. In fact, I gave the rather lazy comparison that Lukasz Rozanski is almost like a poor man's Andy Ruiz, in the sense that he's got quick hands, he's good in the pocket, he can punch in between your punches, and he doesn't really look the part. And to me that would be enough to beat Alen Babic, who, let's be real, is a bit of a caveman. The only apprehension I really had was the fact that Lukasz Rozanski was 37 years old and had been out of the ring for nearly 2 years. Aside from that, I saw Rozanski as the far superior fighter in terms of skill, and ultimately it turned out that way. Now, regardless, I didn't expect a first round knockout, but that's exactly what happened. I thought this fight would go some rounds, but ultimately Lukasz Rozanski blitzed Alen Babic. Rozanski came out strong, obviously, in the first round, applied pressure early on. Once again, fighting in that compact style, he closed the distance really quickly, and straight away he crowded the pocket against Alen Babic and started letting go of his quick left hook. Immediately, he tags Alen Babic up. He caught Babic early on with a left hook. I think it was a lead left hook, up close, and Babic felt it. He held on, you could tell immediately he was feeling the power of Lukasz Rozanski. So when he was first caught, he held on, tried to trade back a little bit, but ultimately he held on. Both guys were separated. Lukasz Rozanski once again applied the pressure. Once again, he landed a quick left hook, which kind of buzzed Alen Babic. It didn't drop him, but it buzzed him. And then Lukasz Rozanski followed up with like a chopping right hand around the side of the head. That dropped Alen Babic momentarily to his knee. He got up immediately, but he got a count. Beats the count. Lukasz Rozanski immediately smells blood, jumps right on Alen Babic and unloads a series of punches, primarily wide punches, hooks, etc. And once again, he catches Babic with left hooks, but he then stuns him and makes him do the chicken dance with a chopping right hand around the side. He catches Babic. Babic is hurt, wobbly legs. Rozanski continues to unload his assaults, and then after a few more shots, the referee jumps in to wave it off. Now, I felt the stoppage was a little early, but ultimately this fight was going one way. Unless Babic landed like a Hail Mary punch, there was no way he was going to win this fight. Quite frankly, no way whatsoever. Rozanski quicker, more powerful, more dynamic, quicker feet as well, not only hands, quicker feet as well. He destroyed Alen Babic, completely destroyed him, and in doing so, he becomes the new WBC Bridgerweight Champion. Now, I know most people don't take Bridgerweight all that seriously, which is fair enough because, the WBC made this weight class. They're the only ones who recognise it. I mean, it's not exactly popping, right? But, Rozanski is a fun fighter. I think there's a couple of fights at heavyweight that could be interesting. I'll say it right now. I said it on stream as we watched this fight. I wouldn't mind seeing Lukasz Rozanski versus Daniel Dubois, believe it or not. I think that'll be a fun fight. I think that'll be a fun fight. Rozanski's an interesting guy. Doesn't look the part. He looks like a football hooligan. He's kind of got man boobs, but you know, he's got power. He's got speeds, good combinations, etc. Good in the pocket. He's a fun fighter. So listen, if they made Dubois versus Rozanski next, I wouldn't be too unhappy. To be honest, I wouldn't be too unhappy. But looking at the Bridgerweight rankings, Lukasz Rozanski now being the champion, I'm looking at the names. No real names really jump out at me in regards to interesting fights. I mean, maybe Kevin Lerena, Riyad Miri, guys like that. But ultimately, there's no real interesting fights at Bridgerweight. I'd rather see Rozanski fight at heavyweight. You know, Dubois maybe, for example. That'd be a decent fight. Maybe someone like Fabio Wardley also could be a good fight. I'd rather see Rozanski fight somebody at that level. But I understand, you know, he's now Bridgerweight champion in Poland. I'm sure they can make him an attraction, you know, defend that title, etc. So it is what it is. I mean, Rozanski is what he is. Weird looking dude, man titties, looks ancient, looks like a football hooligan, but he's got hands. He's got quick hands, good power, fun style. So I'll definitely watch him again. I watched him before this against Izuagono, and yeah, he's a fun fighter. So we'll see where he goes from here. But yeah, Alen Babic, the hype is over. The gimmick is over. He got squashed. He got destroyed. You know, I mean, I've never really been the biggest fan of Alen Babic. Not that I dislike him personally, but the gimmick to me was a little bit corny. You know, just not for me. So Alen Babic, I mean, coming back from here is going to be hard. Maybe he can go to cruiserweight. Maybe, I mean, but even at cruiserweight, there's some killers. So I think he's in a bad position right now, to be honest. But it is what it is. Share your thoughts below. What did you make of his fight? Peace.